Okay, hey, this is a quick little part 2. I will be going to bed after this, and so after that I will have to come back. And so I'm going to delete this web page also, by the way, after I'm done. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get started. Let's start with the navigation bar, which is this thing at the top. And so that is filled with 3 links, and that is here. So what the Lee and Lee thing, don't worry about that. That is an organization thing. It's telling them that this is its own, like these are all different separated things, and li is a thing that is defined by itself, either somewhere up here or it is something that is a basic HTML function, which there are certain things that work that way, like here is also, I don't know why the last video was so blurry. I'm hoping that this one isn't so blurry. P and then P, and that indicates that there's a paragraph here, and you could write stuff in the middle, and then it will separate everything else because it is its own paragraph. But anyways, what's interesting here is what you can note is that when you do something in HTML, you typically have to start it and end it. And it is like two parentheses in a math equation. It's containing everything here. So this P says this is the start of a paragraph, and then in the neocities editor, you'll see that it highlights the end of the paragraph, and that is indicated by the forward-leaning slash. And so you'll see that here, that Lee, and you'll click on it, it'll show its end. It starts here and ends here. And so the A is for link. I don't know how, what you want to use to remember that. If A is for, you can use A for another part of the website if that's easy for you to remember. But I have memorized how to make a link because I think it to be pretty simple. But anyways, here is how it goes. A and then href equals, and then 2 little quotation marks, and then an end symbol. And so what you have here is a blank link that leads to nothing, and you don't even have it ended yet. So href with the 2 equals, this is saying essentially, so you say there is a link here, and then href is saying this is where the link leads to. So here I have the first episode of the HTML thing. And so I copy that link and I put it here. And so now href equals the YouTube link. And so that says there is a link here and it will be leading to this YouTube video. And so now you can put the end of the link, and now you have a completed link. And so you may be thinking, okay, cool, now we have a link. Why is nothing here? That is because you need to, the link needs to be clickable, and so you need something there. You can put text, like I can put the word YouTube video, and YouTube video is here. I click it, and now we're here. And so you're like, why is it in the top left? It's because I put it before everything. And so if I wanted to copy this link, and so you can, this is the left sidebar, so I'm going to just kind of delete it because it's in my way. So this is the middle thing, and so I'm going to erase all the text and just put my link inside. So we save it, go here, ooh, there we go. I click it, and there we go. And so you would be thinking, well, what if I want to make something cool, like on your website, which I know you're thinking, these big things. So this is how you would do that. Surprise, surprise, this does not have to be text. We will be using, I'll leave this one as text, and we will make a second link under it. And it's going to be the link to the video again, but we're going to delete this. And actually, before I even do that, I'm going to make a little space here so we can focus on the image tag. And images are interesting because they don't need an end tag. So I know it's confusing for me to say that that every single thing needs a beginning and an end tag, and then I'm like, but images actually don't need an end tag. But images do not need an end tag because images are like text in that they are self-contained. What are they called? They're self-contained like pieces of the website, or I really don't know what the word is. There's a word for it, but they're their own thing, and so they don't need to be started and ended because everything that you need that the website and the code needs to know about the image will be contained within these brackets. And so image source equals quote quote, and then you will either link to your image here, like let's say I want to look up ugly baby, this ugly ass baby. We will image, copy image address, save it, and now we have the ugly baby here. And it's breaking this, but I can kind of get into why later. So you can take this image, and that's a very basic way of putting an image somewhere. And so you see where this text that says YouTube video is. We can paste it. Ooh, wrong button. We can paste it here. And so then, rather than that YouTube video text being here, this baby is a link to the YouTube video. Cool, 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 right? And so, the thing is, you have to be careful. Like on the school Wi-Fi, my my star background here won't load because it is hosted by Reddit. It's a Reddit picture, and I do this where I say that the image comes from here. And so you may be thinking, how do I prevent that? And there is a way to prevent it. So let's go to neocities.com, and we'll go back to your dashboard, this old place. And so as you can see here, there's a lot of HTML files, but there is a PNG here. And so you'll be like, ooh, what does that mean? You are able to upload files to your website. Like let's upload this random file. It'll open your file opening thing, and then you'll be able to upload a file. I uploaded this one, which is the thumbnail to the last video. I'm going to delete it because I already have it here, and so I am going to use this file. And you can make folders to organize your stuff, but that might be a little advanced. So this is a GIF that just says my name, and this is the name of the file. I am going to copy it. And so if you don't put a link, you can put something that is within your website's directory. So it's kind of, if you understand computers at all, you can kind of visualize that this is, your website is its own computer, its own PC, and this is the hard drive. And it is able to access things from its own hard drive as long as it's defined correctly, and you have to make sure all the spelling's correct and make sure all of the capitalization is correct, and you can't have JPEG instead of PNG. It all has to be very like literal. And so I can say injured.gif, and because it is in the hard drive and it exists, and here it's not really like loading well because what's it called? I think that it's actually underneath the ugly baby image, so let's put it on top. Oh, see, this is a little mistake I made. I copied and pasted, and then so when I reload it, nothing's gonna happen. It's because I put an extra quotation mark and end slant, which jacks everything up. So let's save it again, and it's not working again. Let's figure out why. There's another extra quotation mark. Well, actually, no, there isn't. Stop it. Get out of my way. There we go. Right? Wait. Okay, I understand. Image source equals Andrew.gif in quotation marks. And there we go. There we go. Easy as pie, right? And so, let's go back to that ugly baby thing, because this is kind of where we can go back to, image size HTML. And here we go back to W3 School, and we have all this stuff, and there's so many different ways that you can define an image's size. You can define it by like a certain amount of pixels, which will maybe make it break if you're using. Keep in mind, your website that you make will probably not work that well on PC, but if you are able to optimize it well, that is cool and that is awesome. I am not very good at that, and so a lot of my websites break on mobile. You're supposed to look at my website on a desktop, and that is that's the way it was meant to be consumed and the way it was meant to be seen. So that being said, you can usually make your image different sizes based on pixels. You can make it based off of different like the percent of the container that it's in, like because it is sorry. Okay, sorry, my dog was barking. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, about fixing images. Okay, you can define it by pixels. You can by the percent of the container it's in, because back to this tutorial page, as you can see, this is where the container that it is in starts and ends. And it goes well outside of it because it just is not defined any sort of way, and so it's just the size that the actual size of the image is. The image here is this big, and that is the maximum, or that is the size the file itself is defined by. So say I want it to only be 80% as big as this thing here. Well, I can either, like, you can go the backwards way of it and like kind of do every single thing like image source, and you could put style equals quote to quote, and like do a bunch of different, you could do size equals quote quote or 50%, which I think is a thing you can do. Yeah, and so it'll only be 50% of the container size, but you see it didn't work, and that could be for a million different reasons. Maybe it's because I didn't put it in quotes. Let's try with quotes. Didn't work. And so that's why I don't like to do this. It's kind of frustrating to me. So instead you could put style equals quote quote ugly ass baby. And so now this is a dictionary word, ugly ass baby. And so just to be extra cautious, let's copy that. And so we go up here to where all of our words are defined, and it doesn't matter where you put it, you just need to make its own entry. And we'll put dot ugly ass baby, open bracket, end bracket. And so now we have the word in the dictionary, and we have all the way down here we have the image referring back to the this word that we have now defined. And so now we will put size. Is that not the definition for it? Let's see. Let's go to HTML images and see, why don't we? Images syntax. Here we go. It seems it goes by width and height. So let's do width. Width. And we want it to only take up, let's say, 60% of the container. And so we'll save it. Okay, hold on. I swear, guys, I know what I'm doing. Oh, okay, I get it. It's class. The word is class. When you go back to refer to a dictionary definition, you will use the word class, and that means use the definition of this term. Class equals ugly ass baby. And so now when we save it, the baby will only be 60% of the container that we used. And you can never go up to 100% and you can never go past 100% because, you know, it doesn't really make sense that you would go 110% or, you know, and then when you do 100%, it just doesn't really like that. So you can go 99.9999999, but you can never go to 100. So let's go back up to ugly ass baby. So now you can't really change this here. You have to go up to the definition of this thing, and we'll go to 99.9%. And so now when we go back to my website and we update it, it is 99.9% of this thing. And so, yeah. And there's different ways for you to, like, since it's aligned to the left and everything's going to be automatically aligned to the left because that's just kind of the way things are. There's a few ways to move it to the center, and it could be like align center HTML, and it's going to give you a bunch of different things that are sophisticated ways of doing it, which is like text align. You can have CSS layout, alignments, and then there's like margin auto, blah, 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 blah. I really don't like that stuff. If you want to figure it out, you can. But what I do, which is the easy and like ugly way of doing it that I think is actually going out of fashion and will not be used on HTML very much longer, is center. And this is another thing where you start it and you say that I want this whole thing to be centered. And then you will have to go after and say, and this is where everything stops being centered. And so now that I have that there, the baby's in the center of the thing now, and I can still click it and everything. It doesn't break anything. This baby is here. And so you may be thinking, maybe you aren't thinking this and you're still confused. That's fine. You can kind of go back and watch back, but you can see here that I have it as a class, but here it says style, and that's why I got confused. You can put style, and then they put the width within the image source itself, and you can do that, and you can steal this HTML code if you like. But the reason why I would say you should do this way of doing it by defining it down here and then, or sorry, naming a variable down here and then naming it up here, is that you can go and copy this, what's it called? Copy this whole link, make a second one with a completely different image, ugly panda. See, look at this ugly panda. And we're going to copy the image address. And actually, no. We're going to go the extra mile. We're gonna host it on our own website. I'm going to name it uglypanda.jpg. And I'm going to go here to my dashboard. I'm going to upload the file, uglypanda.jpg. I'm going to copy the name just to make sure, but I already know it was uglypanda.jpg. I'm going to go to the image source, and you can see that this, it starts with a link, and it's still to the YouTube video, image, class, and it uses the same definition, ugly as baby, to make sure that it is going to be the same length as the image above it. And it's also going to be centered since I have it within the center tags. It's going to be in the middle of the box. And the source is uglypanda.jpg, which is on the root of here. Save it. And it is the same exact length as this. And it's because they're defined under the same thing. And yeah, it's just an easy way of changing everything, and you can use this whole it's interesting. You can do a bunch of different things with this. With this definition thing, like instead of doing class, you can kind of do divisions, which see this refers to division, class, content wrap, flex alignment. I don't know what this all means, but you can piece together that class means that up here that there is a variable that is named content wrap flex alignment, and we'll click here and we'll see that it ends here. So it's saying everything within these two brackets is being defined by some variable up here. And so say if I went div class, I could go div class equals ugly ass baby, and then I can go and end it down here. And what I can do is I can even delete these classes. I don't have to define every single image because, okay, I broke it. But the idea is that usually you'd be able to, like, say this whole thing is defined by this class, by this division, and it's dividing up. Divisions are using classes more broad, but again, when you go more broad scale, you can make kind of bigger errors for yourself, and you can go and troubleshoot and you can learn different things, but if it's not worth it to you, it's not worth it to you, you know what I mean? I personally find it easier to define images each by themselves, and which is you know, still saving time, but it isn't so like you break everything if you don't do it correctly, which I enjoy. So maybe this will fix it. Let's see. That seemed to do something, but not quite what I wanted. Let's try this. Oop. What did I do? What just happened, even? Something just happened. Hold on, let me refresh the page. I think it's because, yeah. Oh my god, okay. Division class ugly ass baby. And it's because I define a class and then right after that defines this class. So let's insert it right here. Now let's see. It's not working. So anyways, this is all for naught. You will just need to do what I showed you in the beginning. Forget this whole part of the video where I tried to show you division in classes. I really don't even understand it like that. And now this ugly baby and this ugly panda are both massive. And so it can be a little frustrating trying to learn HTML in the beginning, but I think as long as you stick with it and you are adamant on getting better, you will find tricks that work for you and you can become better than me because I am not very good. Feel free to go to my website if you ever are like out of ideas and you're like, what do I do? How do I make a certain thing? Maybe you can find something on my website that you're like, oh, I kind of want to make something like that. And then you can, you know, go right click, developer tools, view page source, and you can see how I did certain things. Like this website is very simplistic. I have the body, I have the content container, and I have the back button. And those are the only three things that I have defined are the back button. I have, well, I also, I guess, have the rainbow text, but that's not really, it's kind of just this part, which I wouldn't say. And then this is the main content container, and then the body is the background here. And you can do that for my website. You can use other people's websites. You can do whatever you want to do. And yeah. While I'm here, I'll show you a couple different things. Here is where I defined my background color of the text box. the font that I want to use, the width of the text box, the way that the text is aligned to the left, the color of the font is after that. Up here I have title, and title is always defined in the head. And so when I said earlier that, if you remember in the last episode, I had said that the head is used for a bunch of different things, and so using like starting style as the style being the style being like the start of the dictionary, and then ending the dictionary. It is This is another thing that you can do in the head, because the head is not only for the dictionary. You can do title, and title is what it says up here. See how it says Whoopie blog? It says the same thing here. And then link rel equals icon. I couldn't really tell you like what all this means. I just copy this from all my different websites onto each other. It's the same thing, and it is this little Garfield picture up here. If you want your little image up here to be defined a certain way, then you can link it to an image. Like I can make this theoretically any picture on the internet I want, or as you can see, I have it linked. This is something that is hosted on my website under favicons, and it's one of these ones. And then this is the image itself, and then you can see that it's up here. And so that being said, that's a little crash course on images and everything like that, and you know how you can get your website to look just like this. And you can kind of play around with placing things, with making things links, making things look fun. You know, if you want something to be rainbow text, look up rainbow text HTML, and there's generators. Like, yeah, here's a generator for you that you can use, and then you'll just paste everything, your CSS, and it says style here. You will put this stuff in the style tab, or in the style part of in the dictionary, and then you will put your HTML in the body where you want the actual rainbow text to go. And so that is really all I have for you. I will link maybe more stuff in the description for you, maybe this website, and a few others that I referenced here. But that being said, I hope this is helpful for you and it's not just falling on deaf ears. Bye.